Welcome to Riga, Latvia's capital city. Join me as we show you how to spend 3 days in this vibrant, historically rich and beautiful city. So come along with us as we check out Riga. Day 1. We're up early to brave the cold on Sunday morning. Walking through deserted streets, which was a bit weird. Passing the cat house, we quickly learned about the legend of the cats. On our way to the Latvian War Museum, which is in the old Powder Tower. This is free to get in and has an extensive collection of items. Here we learned more about Latvia's war-torn past and the suffering of its people through the years. It was very poignant and thought-provoking. Keen to learn more about the country, we braved the cold and empty streets to walk to the Museum of the Occupation of Latvia. Before going in, take a moment to look at the Latvian Riflemen monument, which we already learned about at the War Museum. Also, here is the memorial to the victims of the Soviet occupation. Paying €5 to enter the museum, it turned out to be a very immersive and emotive experience. We left the museum in shock, but also in admiration of the strength of the Latvian people, and I really got the sense of why Latvia, being an independent country, is so important to its citizens. Just next door is our next stop, and so we passed by the statue of St. Roland, patron saint of Riga, and arrived at the House of the Blackheads. This is a reconstructed building, being modelled on the one which was destroyed in World War II. This cost €7 to get in here, and inside we discovered Riga's rich trading history. However, overall we thought the entry fee was a little high for what was on offer here. But it did have a great gift shop. Walking again. This time we're making our way to Riga's most famous landmark, the Freedom Monument. The wind was picking up now and snow was in the air, so this made the moment even more dramatic. Having learned already how important independence is for the people of Riga, we understood what a patriotic symbol this monument is. But now we're getting cold, so we hurried along to see the Rainis monument to the famous Latvian poet. And then moved on to get some shelter from the storm. But what a shelter! The astonishingly beautiful Nativity of Christ Orthodox Cathedral. This is one of the most amazing cathedrals I've ever seen, both outside and in. Getting hungry now, we stopped for lunch at Cherry Fix. This cute restaurant offered excellent food at a great price. Warmed up and refreshed, we set out again into the cold past the Art Academy, and then down a street filled with grand embassy buildings from countries around the world. We then checked out the amazing Art Nouveau architecture that Riga is famous for, especially on Albert Street and the surrounding area. We then took a walk through Kronvalda Park at quite a quick pace as it was really cold. Just look at the ice on the canal. We were already heading towards Riga Castle, but on the way we passed the Ministry of Foreign Affairs building, this beautiful school building, and the Latvian National Theatre. But we couldn't get in or even close to the castle, which was a bit of a disappointment. But we did look out across the Daugava River close to the Vērmane Bridge, and then discovered the wonderful story of Big Christopher and his sculpture on the banks of the river. It was getting late now, so we headed along to the medieval restaurant Lāsīte, where we enjoyed a quick drink. That was good fun, and by the time we left, it had gone dark. The streets were still quiet, but no wonder as it was really cold, so we didn't walk far and went to Lido Restaurant for a self-service restaurant experience and some great food. The streets were deserted again, but we headed to the Armoury Bar where you can drink while handling real guns. It was then just a short walk to Distillers Republic where we sampled a gin flight. And to finish off the night, we had a final drink in the very friendly underground secret event bar, and that was our first day in Riga, so let's grab some sleep. We'll see you in a couple of moments for day 2. The next day is a Monday and it was snowing. So with an extra layer on, we set off into the city. Yesterday we learned a lot about the troubled past of the city, and today we will find out a little more about this. Our first stop was the ruins of the great Choral Synagogue, which was built in 1871. It's the site of a horrific episode in the Second World War when it was burnt to the ground with more than 400 people inside. Alongside the ruins is our memorial to those brave souls who provided safe haven for Jews during the war. These times should never be forgotten, and this visit was very moving for us. We decided to find out more, and through the snow headed to the Riga Ghetto and Latvian Holocaust Museum. This is free to enter and extremely evocative, and with the cold weather and snow, along with the exhibit itself combining to really bring home the inhumanity and suffering that happened here during the Second World War, we recommend that you take the time out to visit here yourself. After a time we left and made our way to the Latvian Academy of Sciences observation deck. This Stalinist-style building from 1961 has a viewing platform on the 17th floor. For €6 you can ascend and look out across Riga. Today it's windy and snowing, but it was still well worth going. The views are incredible. It was now time to go to the famous market, housed in the massive Zeppelin hangars. Countless stalls offer all manner of food and drink, and lots more. You can spend a long time here browsing and enjoying the atmosphere, and outside were some market stalls where these hardy sellers were braving the cold and snow to offer their goods. We headed back into the centre of town now, and feeling a bit cold we stopped at Martin's Bakery for a quick lunch. This is a fantastic chain of bakeries that has great food and coffee for a good price. Riga has 3 famous churches and we were yet to explore them. First on our route was St. Peter's Church. This cost €9 if you want to go up the tower, or €3 to just have a look around. We'd already been up the Academy of Sciences observation deck, so opted to just look around the building, which is an impressive structure. Outside, with the snow really coming down now, we passed this Brothers Grimm style sculpture called the Musicians, which is a gift from the city of Bremen in Germany. And I have a video about our trip to Bremen on this channel. I'll leave a link at the end of this video and you can check that out as well. But now we're going to the Dome Square, and the snow made this look magical. We went over to Riga Cathedral but found it was already closed, so after looking at its mini maze we walked on to the last of the 3 churches, St. Saviour's Anglican Church. But this was closed for refit, so we gave up and moved on to see the 3 Brothers, said to be the oldest houses in Riga. Then through the Swedish Gate, a 17th century gate in a portion of the city's medieval fortified wall. And finally, after looking around the Lielais clock for ages, finally found hidden under the snow the Baltic Way Footprints, which was our last site we wanted to see today. So we made our way through snowy streets to Black Magic. This is a charming cafe serving the Riga specialty coffee, but we opted for the special tourist weaker version. A place we really wanted to try was Pagrabs restaurant. This folk bar was fantastic. A great atmosphere, friendly service and great food. We spent a happy evening here, and that was our second day in Riga. Join us for our final day in a moment. This was our last day in Riga, and we are heading across the Daugava River on a very busy road bridge. Greeting us on the other side is the amazing site of the National Library of Latvia. Outside is the Divi Rainis sculpture, and the building behind in the snow looked very impressive. But we weren't visiting the library today, our destination was next door. The Latvian Railway Museum. Here we learned about the history of railways in the country and learned about technological changes and modern safety systems. They even had a cool model railway. The exhibit continued outside where some impressive locomotives from the past were on show, including some wonderful Soviet-era steam locomotives. You could even climb on board and pretend to be an engine driver. It was time to leave now, so we caught a tram over to the other side of the city centre to visit the Bergs Bazaar. This is a renovated shopping arcade with cafes and stylish boutiques. We stopped at another Martin's bakery because we loved it so much yesterday. The coffee is great. And after lunch we headed along to the Corner House. This is an exhibition of the former KGB headquarters. We joined a tour to see the cells and interrogation rooms. This was a troubled time in Latvia's past, and the tour brought to life some of the horrors that were inflicted upon the population. We were very moved by the exhibit, and when we left, we decided to take some time to visit the nearby Vērmane Garden. Although covered in snow, we still enjoyed seeing the fountain, the bandstand where the beer festival takes place, and the Anna Warman monument. We took a time out to feed some very friendly birds here as well. Only a block away is the Māris Liepa monument and the magnificent Latvian National Opera building that we wanted to take a look at. We then took quite a long walk over to Stargorod brewery. Here we sampled their great beers. This was a great place, but we wanted to go back to Pagrabs restaurant again because we had such a good time there the night before, and it didn't disappoint as we had some more great food and beers. But then it was time to go, and with the great looking bus tickets in hand, we caught the 22 bus to the airport. I really hope you enjoyed our 3 days in Riga. We would love to go back, and I hope you have a wonderful time when you visit too. That's all for now. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video somewhere else in the world. See ya!